so if you don't understand, I hope so you are going to understand everything that I'm going to say. If I am speaking too quick, please let me know. My mind goes quicker than my voice. Just you please let me know. Claudia, thank you. I suppose that all of us, we are migrants. Some of us decide to come to another country, take the decision. Some of us was forced to leave our homes. I used to live in Bogota, Colombia. This is my family, probably in the time that they were, we left, we flew to Colombia. Is my husband, my two daughters. One of them is living in Berlin. And this is a picture from my youngest daughter before to leave Colombia. This is the job that I used to do in Colombia. I used to work with big companies in Colombia, helping them developing games like Claudia, yeah, to support their strategic thinking, to support the teams of big companies in the implementation of their marketing or strategic plans, also to support students from university to think as entrepreneurs. And was through games that they start to develop their ideas, to have an holistic view of their businesses. But working in a left-wing political party in the marketing area, 10 years ago, I left Colombia. I left Colombia, and as you all know, yes, and I think so it's the story of all of us as a migrant, what to put in a couple of suitcases if we are lucky enough to have time to pack up our suit bags, what to put and what we left. Yes, I left my mom, my father, my brothers, my siblings, my friends, like you all, yeah. I left my beautiful job. I left everything that means for me and come to a country who gave us visa. Why Australia? Because it was the first country that we got a visa. Probably the thing that put me 10 years ago in disadvantage was that I spoke no English. I am a professional woman who had the opportunity to learn English in my country, but I never thought that I will become a migrant and never had interest to learn the language. Probably the thing that put me in disadvantage at that time was that I spoke no English, I do not have a money, I do not have a connections, I do not know anyone, like many of us in this room. So probably in my 45 years old, the question was how I'm going to pay my bills, how I'm going to move forward, how I am going to, many of you know that when we don't speak very well the language, people think that we are not articulate enough, that we are not smart enough, and we do not have the experience to work in something meaningful in the country. And people treat you as a child. See, in the migration, the first thing that I lost was my confidence, and I feel victim and probably with a post-traumatic stress for the way that we left our country. But as we do not have money, my free English classes was in community centers. And in the community centers, I met the people who give me the courage to understand how to move in this country. These women were already long-term settled in this country. These women had little English, difficult to write and read. And 6 months after I was with them, I started to teach them English. And my question was why a newly arrived woman was getting so quick the language and understanding so well the context, and these women who were long-term settled were struggle to be in the country. women with 10 years, 20 years, 10 years working long-term employee or working as a slavery in this country with a very little money. Women who were suffering domestic violence, discrimination, and their families were struggle with settle in this country. Why? Why make myself different? Probably the reflections was I have education. I think so is the best present that our parents has given us, and it's the best present that we can give to our children, education. I love to write and read. I needed to learn how to write and read in English. It was important. I knew how to work outside home. In the English classes, probably all the resources of the English classes was focusing me because I was all the time, could you give me the synonymous, antonyms, past participle, future? What is this? I don't understand. Could you repeat again? And the majority of my English classes mate was very shy and they were unable to write and read. This the first idea was women don't learn English if they don't use it. The best way to learn English is by using the language in the day-to-day. Let's do something that we can talk in English, learn English while we are doing something meaningful. My first idea was to make a multicultural connection center where women come here to exchange family problems, develop community projects, do the English classes together, to have a space. As a businesswoman, I took Google Translate and do my business plan in Spanish through Google and translate the business plan in English. And then I did a summary of 2 pages business plan and Excel projections of 5 years expenses of my multicultural connection center. That was just $500,000. And I just needed to find an angel who gave me the money to put the project to run. If in this point of time, my accent is strong, my grammar is not the best, could you imagine myself 10 years ago? Probably people start to see me and smile and says, oh, you are so cute. But cute people doesn't mean that people give you money to start your project. It's a struggle to find money. I decided to start alone with the women, using community centers as I am doing in this point of time again, using community centers, and I just start to do the same thing that I knew to do in Colombia. Activities, games, where we can start to exchange our little English and our little ideas. We start to cook together, to put the women with little English as a teacher in the kitchen, and the new Australian friend as a teacher of English, exchanging knowledge and experiences. And we start to be fun together. If you try to know each other, but at the end is how we are going to pay our bills, how I'm going to pay my bills. It's not about to be fun. It's about address my present problems. When I depend economically from someone else, they took advantage. I need to work. If I don't put money in my table, I need to be, I am going to be in charge of the family, and my family sometimes are going to take advantage of me because I am the cleaner, the cooker, the person who are at home doing nothing because the home is not work. This is how we are going to empower economically ourselves when we put money in the dinner table working. If nobody is going to employ me, because I do not have the experience, the local experience, or my communications skills are not enough, let's start a business. And this was how we start. If we are not going to do cleaning, we are not going to do factory, because in this country there are slavery taking advantage of people with low level of English. Let's do something that connects us with Australia. In my marketing experience, I start to think around what to do to connect with the Main Street community. In Melbourne, they love markets and locally made products. So the idea was, let's make craft from our cultures and let's try to find markets to sell it. And this was probably the first idea, try to find markets where we put all our craft together. And on the way that we were in markets with different levels of English, we start to realize that we could support each other, teach each other. If I can go to the market to sell my products, a friend could help me, and next time I will help her. And when women start to get money, they start to realize that I can pay my bills by my own. I need to learn English. I need to get friends that are not from my native language. If she's selling more than myself, teach me. And we start to exchange knowledge and experiences. And this is the group 7 years ago, 27 amazing women from, as you can see, different part of the world. Moms, carers, many of them illiterate in their own language, but we were happy selling our products together. But I am not a craft person. I craft ideas. And I start to talk in different scenarios because people love us because we become a talking. Yes, a refugee woman who are doing craft. Just people just engage. Tell me your story. Tell me your story. This is one of the other thing that I learned. Take advantage of your disadvantage. If I am going to tell the story, I am going to tell the story in Australia. I am not going to tell the story why I am here. I am going to tell the story why we need a job, why we need opportunities to learn how to work in this country, why we are available people, full of ideas and experience, happy to give back to this country. Probably we give 200% because we are always proving how good we are in another small country. So I started to talk, and 7 years ago, amazing Australian women helped me to set up my first business that is called Sister Works. 7 years ago, I still was with a bridging visa seeking political asylum in this country. 7 years ago, I do not have enough money to pay my bills, but 7 years ago, these women helped me to start to dream and to have hopes. They helped me to understand how the charity system works in Australia and how these business rules that we don't know how to navigate. Sometimes these women help me. We set up this amazing organization that I became the first 24/7 days a week volunteer. And very resourceful, we start to write grants and to try to develop workshops to improve the craft of the women, to start to looking for other market opportunities, say different sales channels. And this is Sister Works. You need to go to their website because I am no more longer there. You need to go to their website. The way that Sister Works works is to develop artisan products in scales, because to make craft is a lot of time and people pay a little money for the time that I consume to make. But now in Sister Works, in a commercial kitchen or in special workshops, They are working in a team, in a project, in a like a small production line, making products that are sustainable, renewable, that can be produced in big quantity, that can be sold in supermarket, in shops, online, in different corporations, and is produced at the moment. Around 250 women are invoicing sister works for the products that they make. Okay, and it's just the beginning, because you know we all are migrants here, that the thing that we need is confidence. More than the language is confidence to know how to move forward in this country. My best, the top of my career was in March last year. United Nations Women came to me, asked me how I am working in a high income country, developing something that is needed in another high income countries, where there are a lot of women with little English, little literacy, moms and carers, who need non-traditional ways to move them into work. And Sister Wars started a beautiful partnership with UN Women. Coronavirus arrived, and we were the first people who quick developed the idea of the reusable face mask. Also start to use our mobiles as a tool to connect the women in their homes. We moved sewing machines to 150 women homes to develop face masks. But I am an entrepreneur. I am not a manager. At the beginning of this year, the last year, we have 27 employees, 1.5 million revenue per year. Probably Sister Wars needed more a manager than an entrepreneur that is a doer. So this is why I decided to resign and give the organization, it's a charity, give the organizations to the next generation of migrant women. And in June last year, I started a new venture. Probably now with a confidence, with network, with knowledge that there are a lot of opportunities to develop for migrant women in the world, not just in Melbourne. That the solution is through IT, and the solution is also through entrepreneurship. No more employees. Let's do our job. Let's generate our own jobs, and in the middle term, let's generate jobs for other women. Other thing that I understood in this time is that we need to raise our voice. We need more diverse migrant women in the society, talking in different stages. We need people having us patience. My English is no good, doesn't matter. Yes, people need to have patience to listen our pitch, and we need to have the confidence to tell about our talents and the way that we can contribute to our new societies. I'm going to finish now because I suppose that my 15 minutes gone. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Luz. We can have more time maybe later to come back to you, because I know you're doing very interesting things right now. So maybe we'll keep a little time in the end for to discover more. Thank you so much. Ladies, let's take a deep breath, because we now have to move from Australia and we go to Greece, and we go into another incredible stories. So let's breathe just once deeply. Oh gosh, I needed that. And I give the floor. Where is Shafi? There you are. I give the floor to Shafi. So Shafi, please unmute yourself. And I suggest you all to put on speaker view, and to mute yourself so that you do not you do not interfere with Shafi state. Okay, Shafi, to you.
And first of all, I want to say thank you for having me, but maybe my English is not good enough to uh, introduce myself completely, but I will do my best. In general, I want to say, we are from Tajikistan, three generation. We are all the time moving from Tajikistan to Afghanistan, Afghanistan to Iran, and then Iran to Europe. And the first, I should say thanks God, because finally one country give us some paper we are exist in this world. Because when we were in Iran and in Afghanistan, we were not exist in this world because we don't have a paper in, and we all the time, because my family is huge family. I have a many sibling. Um, we have all of us. We have a different skill, because my mom had a skill, and she all the time wants all of us to have some skill, because the skill can help you everywhere when you are where you are. When I was 8 years old, my mom taught me uh, how I can do the embroidery. I learned from 8 years old, and then after when I grow up, I think around 12 or 13, she tried to send me to some private school to learn how I can do the how I can make clothes, because she was tailor. And in the beginning, honestly, I don't like it. I hate it because of just because of her. I accepted, and then I went there anyway, and I started to learn how I can make a pattern, how I can make dress, and I tried on my all of my sister and my niece, and then all the time they act was so good, because they all the time gave me many motivation. And then, Shafi, you're good, you're doing so well, and then I love the things you make for me. And then this has give me more motivation to be to be the all the time I improve myself. And unfortunately, when we were in Iran, 2 times the government, they evict us in Afghanistan, because we don't know Afghanistan very well. And again, we came back in Iran, and then we start from zero. And after that, 3.5 years ago, I spoke with them. Please, how many time again you want to start your life from zero? We have to change it, this situation. And I talked with them, and then I said we should do something special. We should make some challenge, some new things, because we need it. And then we decide to come in Europe to build our life. It was so hard to do these things with the 13 people. And we decide, and we all of us, we were agree about this, and then we came in Europe. In the beginning we were in the Muria, and then it was so very big shock we to us, because we never thought that in Europe we can find this horrible place. And just, I think after 2 weeks in Moria, we decided to make a protest, and then we made it. And then we protest in Mytilene for 3 months. Finally, we win, and then we came in Greece, because they don't want to give us the blue stamp to come in Athens. Sorry, in Athens, and then they behave like we are prisoned, we are criminal, and then this is, I cannot accept it, and then my family as well. And then they were always behind me. I'm so appreciate about this. And we finally came in Athens, and then in the beginning, all of us, we were so depressed and upset, because the situation was so terrible and then so bad. And then, but it is not reason to stop and stop to don't do anything. In for me, the start from because we were in a city plaza, one hotel. It was one one hotel that they just take it for just for a refugee, and then they do something for refugee. They support them, they give them some room, something like this. We lived there for 1.5 years. Then during this time, in the beginning, I was so upset, because um, I cannot communication with the people. It was so bad for me, because all the time I had a very good communication with people, and it was so hard. And then in the beginning I was so crying, why I cannot speak with anybody, because I need to speak, because I want to do something. I want to do my things. I want to start my business. All the time I was thinking about this. My mom went to somewhere in some place. They gave many refugees some clothes. It was secondhand clothes. And then she brought me many good fabric. And then I was cutting, and then I made them by my hand, like a skirt, like I don't know, some top, something like this kind of things. And beside this, I try to remember the draw, because when I was in Iran, I learned how you can draw and design the clothes as well. Because for many time I missed everything in my mind. I start to practice more how I can draw it. That time, some of the volunteer from there, they said, Shafi, you have a good talent. You can improve your talent and then do something more and special. And then this one is like a ring for me. Okay, Shafi, you can do something special. And then what I can do, maybe I can make it one fashion show. And I start to draw, and then some of them they help me about how I can do this project. They help me to make some fundraiser, and Some of them, they help me about how I can manage all of the things I need. Finally, I did it. Finally, I did it. I'm so glad and appreciative about all of the people they helped me. Uh, but after that, I I find myself I can do more than this. Because I don't have a rich father and rich family, but I can start from zero, and it doesn't matter I'm woman, or because in woman a woman in my country or in my culture, and they cannot do more special things. And then I changed all of this, the mind they had, because we have a more, maybe we are more strong than man to 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 make something to I don't know how can I explain, because it's so my dictionary I can it's very um, very small, or very not so big. And also I have a stress because I'm talking with a lot of people here. This is the first time I'm doing. Uh,
You're
and then
doing
after
very,
when I
very well, Shafi. No problem. You're doing great, really.
thank you. And after that, when I saw many people, they were so interesting, and they told me it means for me it's I did something special, and then I proud of myself as well that time. And I it was so for me, I couldn't believe it. Finally I did it, because during the project I was crying, maybe I cannot do, because I promised myself you. And then I spoke with some of my friends, how can I do this, because I was alone, honestly. Nobody uh, was there to help me to do this project, just about manage how I can find a place, how I can, for example, find all of the model. They were they were my friends. I sent all of my friends, can you be my model, can you help me please, something like this. And some of the media, when they interview from me, and then I felt more and confident, and more uh, my self-confidence grow up, and my self-confidence as well. And finally, now I'm thinking about my new collection. I'm working on that, because the first one gave me more and a lot of motivation, and then I can do more than this. The first my collection, just because I want to, and when I was in Moria, or I said in Mytilene, uh, between people and the immigrant and the Greek people, they were so bad together. They don't accept us, because they thought maybe we came and to catch their country. And then this is for me, it's so it's feel like no, we can live to beside each other. We can make this world better together. And then I want to show them the, because I combine my collection to culture, Europe and my culture. I want to say we are friends. We are not so far from each other. Just we should be beside each other, nothing else. And uh, I think I said to them very clearly, and yeah, I think I said to them, because now they are so, I find them many good people. I find them many friends. Now all of my family, they are in Germany. Just I'm still in Greece and Athens. I'm living alone by myself. And yeah, now I'm working and I pay my bill. I can't pay my rent, all of this thing.
Shafi, thank you so, so much. You are a real inspiration, and you made very well with your English. You explained yourself beautifully, so we're really proud.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll have questions for you later. Um, so, ladies, now another deep breath, please. We close our eyes. Okay. And we move on to our third amazing woman, to the third inspiring story. And I ask Diala to jump in and to
Hello.
tell us. Please put yourself all on mute. Okay. Thank you, Diala.
Thank you. Actually, after Luz and Shafi's story, I don't know what to say. But I will talk. I will say my story.
Of course.
So yeah, I started working at first. Diala Brisly. I'm from Syria. Yes, I started working on animation in 2001. I didn't go to art school. There was like corruption in Syria. Sometimes it's really hard to go to art school if you don't know someone from a military, wherever. So anyway, I went to cartoon channel. It was known in Syria, and I got my training there. In the beginning, they didn't want me because my work is very realistic. I don't do cartoon, but I kept going there even if they didn't want me. So after like 6 or 7 months, they had like a really strict deadline with some artists, but the artists, they had trouble, so they didn't work on it. So I filled the gap and I stayed 2 days with 2 nights there. So I did the layout. Then they decided to take me. So I did it. In 2005, I started to work in freelance projects like illustration and comic for magazines. I wasn't really satisfied. There was something I like didn't fill my gaps because there was a lot of limits politically in Syria. Even we want to talk about like social problems, it was very strict because of the dictatorship. So in 2011, when the revolution started, I didn't participate in my art in the beginning. I was more involved in protest and preparing field hospitals. Something is not really related to my work. But later on, I started working in political art because I felt like it's a big need to express this. So I was just posting it on my Facebook account in the beginning in the name of Elvis Brisly instead of Diala Brisly, just to be safe. But then there was like alternative journalism, so other people, they were taking my artwork to support their articles and their reports. So that encouraged me more to do political art. But then the situation started really being dangerous. It wasn't safe to stay in Syria anymore. So I left in 2013 to Turkey, like thinking that I will go for a few months and I will come back. But apparently it wasn't like that easy. We were just dreaming about this change and this revolution. So I stayed in Turkey for a year and a half. I struggled a lot. This was like a real struggle for me because I couldn't work because of the language issue. I applied for many jobs. There is many published houses. They are really very good, but if I don't speak Turkish, it's impossible. So what I did, I became addicted more to news and drawing more and more. So like yeah, I became known with my political art, and I did exhibitions without even going to these exhibitions. One of them was in Switzerland. I don't remember which city. And then I noticed that we are not really a decision maker. We can't really change politics in Syria. And we did this revolution, and actually we failed in it. Syrian kids, they are paying the price. They are losing their future, losing their childhood, and losing their education. I'm not into education system at all, but I have art, so I thought I can support education by art. So I made my decision and I went back to Lebanon and I started like my new initiative in refugee camps. I started my first mural in 2014. It was in a public library. I met a girl there. She was also a political activist in Syria, and she wasn't allowed to go there anymore. So I told her I can help you with this public library for kids in a refugee camp and do mural. So then I saw how kids, they really got motivated to come to this public library when they saw the painting on the wall, and they got really excited. So I decided to do it often, like go to random refugee camps and do it in school tents, because education in refugee camps, actually it's not a building there. It's just a tent. It's not allowed for refugees to build at all in that lands. So I was like just taking this bucket of paint and some brushes and go there and also work with the kids and paint murals to encourage them more to go to school. And then also I thought when I saw how kids, they get really excited when they see this, I thought I can do art workshops, but also I thought maybe because they have trauma, and I noticed that kids, they can't, some of them, they can't really express themselves easily by talking, and some of them, they really lost the ability of talking. So I wanted to do something related to art therapy, but of course there wasn't any time to study art therapy or visa or money. So I read a lot about it. I did courses and workshops with the drama therapy and related this with to art. And I saw like how it's really helpful to do this with kids. And also there was a lot of activists, they were doing the same with the music therapy and drama therapy. And really a lot of parents and families, they came to us and they said it really helped their kids improving with their psychological issues and with their ability to talk again. So apparently it was like a big impact on kids in the refugee camps where they live, but also it was an impact from other side, that people in international people, they started like paying attention to education situation in refugee camps in Lebanon. So there is a woman, her name is Jacqueline Flory. She's from Munich. She contacted me after she saw a report about my work in BBC, and she told me I want to come to Lebanon to help in building this school tents. So first time she came, it was in the beginning of 2016, I guess. I was still in Lebanon, so she did like small fundraising with kids in Munich, and to be able to build the first school tent in Lebanon. Then she established organization. It's called Zeltschule. Now they opened more than 15 school tents in Lebanon, and I found this like really fascinating because when I first went to a refugee camp to do this, I just wanted to improve in this small public library. It's really small, out of nowhere, in a refugee camp that it got burned after like few months actually. And just like we wanted to encourage kids to study, but now it's getting bigger and bigger, and also the families, they are getting support from this organization. Now I'm in France. I still like by my art. I support this organizations in Sudan, and whenever I have time and space, because my painting was already on the fabric of the tent. It wasn't on the wall. So sometimes I do a mural, a big mural on canvas, and send it back to Lebanon to hang it on school tents there. And yeah, this is what I'm doing. And also I'm working on from time to time to on children books that is related to refugee kids. Sometimes the audience, they are European, to explain the situation in the refugee camp. Sometimes are Syrian, to just empower them and to show them they are the hero of themselves. We are not there to save them. They are there to save themselves.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Diala. Thank you so much. Uh, Actually, you're a fantastic artist. I mean, well, I think we've been very lucky, ladies. We have picked three outstanding women. They all are a bit artistry. So, okay, thank you, Diala. I'm going to put you on gallery view. I'm going to open the floor. I have quite good news from my husband, so I can stay until the end. I'm very happy about that. So, ladies, those who have hidden themselves can now come back. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we move we move on to Q&A. So just please do a big hi to the people who are watching the recording and who cannot enjoy our Q&A.